Hey, what's up? Samuel Leeds here. You know what? I'm just getting super sick and tired of people's ridiculous opinions. Is Buy2Let dead? I've seen videos on YouTube of people saying that Buy2Let is dead, but then when I watch their video, I can't actually make any sense of the video. They just waffle on. I'm just struggling here. I really want to argue with someone on my channel on like a Thoughtful Thursday debate. I've got 5 reasons why people are saying Buy2Let is dead. Is it dead? No, I don't think it's dead at all. And I can list you 20 reasons why it's not dead. Let me address the reasons why people are saying it's dead. These are the reasons. Number 1, tax reasons. Section 24, which is a ridiculous thing to say, but we'll address that in a minute. Number 2, legislation. Okay. Number 3, these are the best 5 reasons I could come up with. If there's any other reasons, comment below and I'll address them. Number 3, because the media are saying bad things about landlords. So Buy2Let is dead because the media are saying bad things about landlords. Okay. Number 4, tenants' rights. And number 5, the uncertainty of Brexit. So because of tax reasons, legislation, the media saying that we're greedy, tenants' rights, and the uncertainty of Brexit, Buy2Let's apparently dead. What are my thoughts? Well, let me address these first 5 things, and then I'm gonna just give a few reasons as to why I don't think it's dead, because right now, I think we are sitting on a gold mine. I've been in property for 11 years. I bought my first house 11 years ago. And I think that right now is the best time to get into property, certainly over the last 11 years. I think that. No one will argue with the fact that there's massive money to make in property, okay? So being a property entrepreneur, maybe rent to rents, serviced accommodation, or development, buying, selling, title splitting, all this stuff. We're talking specifically now about Buy2Let, which is when you buy a house and rent it out. It's brilliant. It's brilliant, Buy2Let. Okay, so tax reasons. Section 24 that's coming in at the moment. Section 24 is saying that you can no longer claim your mortgage interest payments as tax deductible. So what that means is, if you were previously renting out your house for £500 a month and your mortgage was £200 a month, you've got $300 left. Now there might be some expenses on that 300, fine, but that 300 is what you pay tax on. Now what they're saying now and what they're phasing in is to say that you'll pay tax on the whole rent. So you won't be able to deduct your mortgage interest payment as tax deductible. That's the change. Everyone's been talking about this recently, but this was announced like in 2016. I don't know why suddenly everyone's talking about it now. I guess they're phasing it in maybe, but so there's all these news articles and everyone's like, I'm thinking, geez, this is old news. That's what Section 24 is. That's what everyone's talking about when they're talking about the tax changes. There's actually other tax changes that are going on, and you can read this online. So things like room rate tax that's going up, and there's all kinds of stuff, but we're not gonna go into that. We're just talking about Buy2Let right now. So why is Section 24, these tax changes, why don't they scare me? They don't scare me because number 1, if you buy in a company, it doesn't apply. I've been buying in a company for the last 2 years now. Previously, I bought as an individual. When they announced the tax changes, Section 24, they immediately, quietly announced that this doesn't apply if you buy through a company. Oh, and by the way, they changed the rules immediately and said, if you buy through a company, there'll be no checks done on the company anymore. Previously, if you buy through a company, when you're doing Buy2Let, they'll do 1,000,001 checks on the company. They'll want to know all the background of the company. Has the company been trading this long? What does it do? What's its turnover? What's its figures, its finances? Now, you can set up a limited company today in 20 minutes and pay £17. Tomorrow, you can buy a house through that company because you as an individual will be guarantor to the company. And then the new tax changes don't apply. They don't apply. So people can stop talking about them. The kind of properties that I own, the mortgages are little, I'm paying small, because I buy low, rent high. I've been teaching this for years. I've been doing this for many years. I'm a young guy, but I started young. I buy low, rent high, which means that my mortgage payments might be £200, £300 a month, and my rent, £1,500 a month. You know how much it's gonna affect me, the new tax changes? I'm a Buy2Let landlord. I've got properties all over the country. I've got properties in Wales, I've got properties real far up north, I've got many houses in the Midlands, scattered all over the place. I'm gonna get affected on average £25 per month per property. It's not a big deal. Why? Because I'm a smart investor and I buy right. But now I'm just buying through a company. So the tax changes don't apply. People are freaking out. Oh my gosh, the tax changes. They might affect you if you're an idiot. But whenever there's a bad rule change over here, there's always another rule change over here because the people that make the rules are the same people that make money in property. Section 24 doesn't worry me at all. In fact, It excites me. Why am I excited by the tax changes? Because all these people, these amateur landlords that have got these houses and they bought these stupid houses with their feelings, not with their formulas, because they wanted it to be close to home so that they could manage it. Why do they need to manage it and it be close to home in case there's a problem? That's not financial freedom. That's not running a business. That's not being a smart investor. Anyway, so these amateur investors that are getting a rent of £500 a month and their mortgage is £400 a month, because they bought in Bristol Centre because that's where they live and as buy-to-let, they'll be hit because now they're paying tax on the whole 500, but they were only making 100 profit before. All these £100 that they were making each month of these properties has now gone down to £50 or nothing. And they're like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? Well, what they're gonna do is they're either gonna sell up, which is gonna be a good thing because it gives us opportunities, or more likely, they're gonna put their rents up a little bit from 500 to 600. So suddenly all these landlords are like, they're putting their rents up a bit. Meanwhile, I'm buying in a company unaffected. But because they're putting their rents up a bit, I'm thinking, well, I can put my rent up a bit. So what's happening and what's happened over the last 2 years is rents have gone up massively. I was getting like $550 for my 3-bed houses around the Midlands, like Birmingham, Warsaw, $550. Now I'm getting $700 for the same houses in the last 18 months because of the Section 24. By the way, I'm not a tax advisor, okay? So speak to your accountant because it might be that you don't need to buy in a company. Section 24, the tax changes are not bad if you know what you're doing. So that's the big main reason people are saying that buy-to-let is dead. Number 2, the next thing is legislation. A lot of people have been saying the legislation is getting really strict for buy-to-lets. HMOs, they've said that you need to have all HMOs licensed that are 5 people or more. I just think just be a good landlord. If you're renting out good houses and they're safe, and they're fit for purpose, then what's the problem? The only problem is if you're trying to rent out a house that's not fit for purpose. If you're trying to rent HMOs out and you've got little rabbit run rooms everywhere and you've not got fire doors and now suddenly it needs to be licensed and you're like, oh no, it needs to be licensed. They're gonna come and they're gonna see the mess of the house. Then that's a problem. But if you're a good landlord, I don't see what the problem is. When you buy a house in Wales, you've got to have a license. Even if it's just a small buy-to-let house, you've got to have a license. What's the problem? Just get a license. Took me about an hour and a half to fill out a little form to check that I was a decent landlord. Legislation's a good thing because it puts off the real amateurs and the real rogue landlords, which is a good thing because then our horrible competition that suck and give us a good name, I know more. So I haven't got a problem with the legislation at all. I just cannot see why you would say buy-to-let is dead because of legislation. It's a big deal when you're renting out a house. As a tenant, you want the house to be safe. I just baffles me. Number 3 is that the media are saying bad things about landlords. I mean, geez. The media will always bash rich people. You know, rich people are greedy. Landlords, slum landlords, like, I went on a show on the TV. I've been on the TV many times. They've never really painted me in too bad of a light, but I don't know what to even say about that one. Tenants' rights and uncertainty of Brexit. Again, 2 things that we don't know what's going to happen. Tenants' rights, they've abolished Section 21. Section 21 is just a way of serving notice to a tenant, and they're going to replace it with something else, but we don't know what that something else is, and people are going, oh, tenants' rights, but we don't know what that something else is. Same as Brexit. We don't know what's going to happen with Brexit. I don't know what's going to happen with Brexit. Uncertainty does not mean something is dead. It means that we're uncertain. But Warren Buffett says when people are uncertain and afraid, that's when you should be really greedy. When I started out in property, it was the same story 11 years ago. There was the credit crunch and everyone was like, I'm really scared. I was too stupid, I was too naive. I was just buying houses because that's what I've been told to do by my trainer. I'm really glad that I did now. You need to be aware. I'm not saying put your head in the sand, but there's a lot of scaremongering going on around. Why do I think buy-to-let's fantastic? Well, I've told you the reasons why people are saying it's bad and why I think that they are wrong. Here's the bottom line, okay? In England right now, there are foreign investors from Hong Kong, Singapore, Australia, even America, India, China, coming in and buying houses to rent out like crazy at the moment in the UK. Why? Well, the reason is because they have a lot of money, they're smart, they've looked at their country, they've looked at England, and they've gone, yeah, England's much better. But we're here all scared, all afraid. I haven't got much to say. All I'm gonna say is I'm just gonna continue making money, continue buying houses. Yes, I'm a property entrepreneur, so I'm doing all this stuff as well. I'm buying and selling, and I'm title splitting, and I'm all this sort of stuff. I have a training business. It's great. I'm also aggressively buying houses. I just bought a house last month. I bought it, I refurbished it, I pulled out all my money. All of it. I'm now renting it out and making money on it. Don't get so freaked out about the tax. Oh, but what about the tax? Just worry about making money. And ultimately, as I said before, we're on a very small island. The problem here is that we have a shortage of houses and an overpopulation of people. Owning houses, you ain't gonna lose. You're just not. So just get educated. I'd love to know your thoughts. If you want me to debate with somebody, find the people that are saying Buy2Let is dead, that have good arguments, and then tag them and tell them that they are welcome to come on my channel. I'd love to debate them. I'm open. I just think they're wrong. What are your thoughts? Comment below. See you next time.